Welcome to Norwich. Now, as well as being the city I live, it's a city steeped in both mystery and history. And here, on the corner of the St Peter Hungate Church, where Elm Hill meets Princes Street, we have quite a strange mystery of a keyboard fossilised in the pavement, which has been here for quite a few years, but no one's really sure why. And that's what we're going to explore in this video. Yes, I know computers are starting to get old, but a fossilised keyboard is surely a stretch too far. This is how it looks today, rather battered, cracked and looking the worse for wear. But if you take a look on ye old internet, you'll find photos of this going back at least 2 decades, showing it in various states of life. This is one of the earliest ones, and as you can see, it's quite fresh and minty. In 2009 it still looked fairly nice, but by 2012 cracks were starting to show, probably due to the removal of a lamppost situated adjacent to this ancient artefact. Still, compare it to a real fossil and you can see why people are getting excited about this. I mean, they're practically identical. Now, I'm sure regular viewers of this channel will spare no time in identifying this as an Amstrad PC keyboard or a very close variant, but what the hell is it doing in the pavement? Being a Norwich resident, it's something I've seen pop up in public forums and Facebook groups almost on a yearly basis. There's even an array of blog pages and news articles dedicated to it. Can anyone shed any light into the Norwich Keyboard at the top of Elm Hill? Looks like a concrete keyboard, is it? Evidence of an advanced civilization on the corner of Elm Hill and the monastery. Does anyone know the origins? Been there 20 years or more. In fact, many people seem to remember it being there since the 80s as some sort of art installation. Speculation kept on coming, along with a lot of genuine interest about the real story behind its creation, and it's certainly not without its conspiracy theories. A popular one is that it fell off the back of a lorry in the 60s when the cement was wet and it got stuck in situ for years to come. Of course, this type of keyboard wasn't about in the 60s, and rather than a feasible explanation, this is now almost a piece of Norwich folklore. You can imagine it being passed down for years to come. The keyboard that fell in the pavement cement back in 1965. Other people jested, or were actually being serious, I can't really tell, that it was simply a telephone inspection plate with a non-slip surface. Some people believed it had been carved out, and it was surely not a real one encased. There's even comments that it was an actual fossilised typewriter. Looks like a Remington. One comment links it to the nearby Norwich University of Arts. This is an imprint of an 18th century printing template, accidentally discarded from nearby college when it had a printing department in the 1960s. And that sounds a bit odd, but is actually getting a little closer. Of course, the Treif is rather a different story and took a fair amount of digging. I went to various places, including the Norwich University of Arts, from speculation that it may have been created by a student at some point, but it was a separate thread of investigation where I got in contact with someone who claimed to know someone who knew the original creator of this prehistoric keyboard, and so I got to work trying to contact her. Several weeks passed and I had heard nothing. Until, out of the blue, I got a reply from someone named Molly Soul, and she verified herself to be the original creator of this Norwich urban legend. During her time at the Norwich University of Arts, or back then as it was known, the Norwich School of Art and Design. Obviously, the next step was to set up a video call and have a chat to Molly herself.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm pleased to get hold of you, actually.
Well, I'm honoured. I'm like so honoured. I'm very flattered to have anyone even notice it. I like the fact that I knew it was there, and I always thought to myself, I know people have to look at that. Like it was like my own little okay, so I haven't, you know, become a great artist, and you know, but I've got my one little bit. I'd love to go back. I haven't been back for a long time.
So when did you go? Was it late 90s? Are we?
Yeah, like 1999 to, I think we graduated in 2001.
In the Norwich groups, Facebook groups, every year someone posts about it, and then you get a massive string of questions. But there's loads of people who claim that their dad or granddad said it fell off the back of a truck, and then it was cemented into the floor, and you get all these different wild theories. I
sort of did it. It was very like just off the cuff. I was walking to college, and somebody had just like I walked that street every day, and somebody had just like laid a beautiful piece of cement on that corner.
Right.
And it was a bit of a kind of act of anarchy, I suppose, just to like want to vandalize it. But I just sort of, I thought, I've got this keyboard mold, and I was making loads of sculpture about like how the internet was changing things, and how email was like just altering like the way that we work. And I was like I was melting keyboards in my studio, and I had this mold, and I thought I'll just push it into the cement and see if I can like leave a mark in it. And it did. It just sort of stayed there, but it wasn't as crisp as I had hoped. So when I went back to see it, like when it had dried, it's sort of soft, you know.
So you were making molds. You were making molds in your studio for.
Yeah. So actually, my tutor Chris at the time really helped me with it, because it was quite technical. So we found this old, really big old chunky keyboard, which looked quite dated at the time, even then. He helped me make a mold of it, and then I just had it in the studio, because if you had the original keyboard and pushed that into the cement, it would have left like
a negative image.
Yeah. So I just happened to have it, and I just thought, oh, I'll see what it does, you know, and then it just stayed there. And I think they actually I seem to remember they had like road block, you know, the street signs blocking the street, so pedestrians couldn't stand it. So it's perfect. So nobody wrecked it whilst it was drying. Was really fortunate.
What were the molds for you were using them? Were they for a different project? You were.
So I actually found one, actually, because I thought you might want to see it. So this is the original. One of the ones that came out of the mold, and it's made of porcelain. And it's so the idea was it was melted, and then, or not melted, but they go in a washing machine basically. They ended up on a washing line. So there was a whole load of these supposedly wet keyboards drying on a washing line. In my final degree show, and it was just like I was making like lots of sort of subversive pieces about how technology kind of was maybe threatening domestic, you know, kind of traditions and stuff, and it was all a bit random.
Okay.
But I just like the idea of it, because the keyboard is so, everyone just respects it and reveres it so much, and you don't spill any water on my keyboard kind of thing, and I just thought it might be quite fun to just trash it. And it was just one of those times when, you know, you're trying to put your work out there so that you've got an audience of some sort. And I think I just that morning I just thought, hey, this is an easy way to get an audience. I'll just stick my work in the pavement. It's probably it's the most throwaway thing I did in the 3 years that I was there. Wow. And there it is. So
that's often the case, isn't it? The thing you don't think about, it stands out.
I'm sad to sort of like, you know, wreck the conspiracy theory for people, but I'm definitely a little bit skeptical about technology, and I definitely think it's a bit spooky that was how you managed to track me down, and the fact that I actually evaded you because of that. I was like, oh no, this is a bit dodgy. Ironically, I ended up becoming, this is even more ironic, I ended up becoming a digital artist.
So have you worked on like various films?
I have, yeah.
I've got your IMDb page, and you've worked on things like Star Wars, Fantastic Beasts. Is this you?
Yeah, wow. That's me. Yeah.
So you've gone on to do some amazing things off the back of
really lucky. And randomly, ironically, the one of the guys I worked for, Stuart Craig, on Harry Potter, also was at the Norwich Art School, and I think he's like he's a patron or something now. He's like, you know, really important, goes and talks, goes and lectures there. We used to, and one of my actual colleagues at work I also studied with at Norwich, and we both work in film art department, so that's really nice.
Thanks for your time, it's appreciated.
All right, you're really welcome. Take care.
Thanks very much,
Peter. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. So it was incredibly interesting speaking to Molly, and I'll be putting the whole interview up on my extra channel if you want to see it. We had a chat afterwards about how it's pretty strange some 20 years later. The only way this video and interview was possible was through the world of online technology that was really in its infancy back then. Her work about technology and work creeping into the domestic setting has really come to fruition, especially now. Can you imagine how things would have been had we had the same global situation back in 2000? Pretty strange, and it feels like a circular closing of her original work. Well, it does to me, at least. And that solves a mystery which you may or may not have wanted to ever know about. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.